thank the gentleman for yielding to me. And, Mr. Speaker, yesterday at the Rules Committee, Chairman Dreyer said this: there's no way we're going to have a transportation bill unless it's bipartisan. Mr. Speaker, it was music to my ears. I thought the chairman had a revelation, because that's exactly the tune the Democrats have been singing for weeks, that we need a bipartisan transportation bill. We have been saying this month after month after month. Transportation bills have always been bipartisan. Our colleagues like to criticize the Senate for inaction, but even they passed an overwhelmingly bipartisan bill this year. But, Mr. Speaker, actions speak louder than words. Instead of taking the bipartisan path, my Republican friends have tried one partisan approach after another, and they have failed every time. And the partisan march continues today. Last night, 9 members of the House submitted amendments to this bill, 5 Democrats and 4 Republicans. Then, not 2 minutes after the chairman said this, my Republican friends approved a rule on a straight party line vote to block every single Democratic amendment. Now, let me review this for my colleagues because I think it is important. First, the underlying bill was written by Republicans in a back room without any Democratic input, none. Now Republicans are only allowing themselves to amend the bill they wrote. This chart produced by the majority says it all. 4 Republican amendments submitted, 3 made in order for debate in the House floor, 5 Democratic amendments in order, not a single one allowed. Now, maybe some of the people in the back room can't see this number because it's so small. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm going to make it a little bit easier for those who need a little help here. Here we go. 0 Democratic amendments allowed. 0. A bill written only by Republicans, which only Republicans can amend. Apparently, this is what a bipartisan process means in the House, in the Republican House. This is the new and improved open House that they promised. Open house my foot, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there are real consequences to this approach. And I had a very important amendment blocked yesterday in the Rules Committee, an amendment to end the subsidies to the oil companies that are gouging Americans at the pump, an amendment that will cut the deficit by $40 billion. $40 billion. Now, I don't care what my Republican friends say. That is a lot of money. And the taxpayers' money that's going right into the pockets of the same oil companies that are driving up gas prices just as summer approaches. Why in the world are American taxpayers being asked to subsidize big oil? These are the same oil companies that recorded tens of billions of dollars in profits in the first 3 months of 2012. These companies took in tens of billions of dollars in profits in 3 months while raising gas prices to more than $4 a gallon. And we reward them with a $40 billion worth of tax breaks and giveaways? Come on. What is wrong with the leadership of this House of Representatives? Look, there's nothing wrong with corporations making profits. That's what they're in business to do. What is wrong is for American taxpayers to be subsidizing wildly profitable companies at a time when too many Americans are still unemployed and struggling to pay their bills. With their tax dollars funding corporate welfare for big oil and then still paying astronomical prices at the pump, it's a double whammy for American families. With all the talk about cutting spending and reducing subsidies here in Washington, I would have thought that the Rules Committee would have made in order my amendment. An amendment, by the way, just so there's no confusion here, that I have offered repeatedly. I've offered it over 6 times, and all 6 times it has been blocked by the Rules Committee. But the Rules Committee decided not to make it an order, and to say that this is somehow a bipartisan process, and then immediately denied any Democrat amendments, including my amendment to end tax breaks for big oil companies, tells you everything you need to know about the Republican leadership in this House. This is a lousy process, and the American people are paying the price. I would just close by saying the fact that we can't vote up or down on the Senate bill to extend the highway bill for at least 2 years means that our cities and our towns and our states can't plan ahead. What an awful thing for us to do during this difficult economic time. I urge my colleagues to reject this very partisan rule, and let's get back to working on a transportation bill in a bipartisan way that will actually help the American people. Enough of these games. I yield back the balance of my time.